Hello, welcome back to my corridors. If you're new to my channel, welcome to my corridors. So I've been so excited to make this video. I've been so excited to go to this concert, so I'm finally glad I'm finally sharing, and I wanted to share my experience while it's still fresh in my mind. So if y'all hadn't seen yet, yesterday I went to Jackson to go see a sludge metal show. The bands were Black Tusk, Somnuri, and Horseburner. I'll leave links in the description of what they sound like if y'all aren't familiar. I highly recommend all three of them. Yeah, I had such a fun time and I really wanted to share with you all. This is probably one of the best shows I've ever been to, period. And this was my very first sludge metal show, so this is something else. This is a shirt I got at the concert. I love the color scheme. It reminds me of my Rust in Peace shirt. And I have a thing for long sleeve shirts, so I'm glad I picked it up. So I went with my older brother. He was, what's the word, chaperoning? Yeah, because he didn't want me to go to Jackson by myself, and that's totally understandable because Jackson is really not the safest city anymore, so yeah. We ate. We went to Barnes & Noble's, just kind of kill time, and then we headed on over there. We were very early, but we got in, and I printed my tickets too, because I like to print out my tickets. And I'm trying to think, before I went to the show, like a day in advance, I had to re-sew a bunch of my patches on my vest, because some of them were coming undone. Some of them are still kind of coming undone, but not as bad, so I'm glad I was able to do that. But anyway, I've memorized all the band's faces, so I immediately recognized Horseburner when I first saw them in the venue. All four of them were in front of the stage, and the stage was very close to the ground, and the venue was very small. It was really a bar, and there was tables, chairs, a couch. It was very comfortable. There was a little area where people could stand up, and we did stand up. But yeah, I saw all the members of Horseburner, and I approached them. I'm like, hey, I'm a really big fan, you're Horseburner, and they were so happy that somebody recognized them. They're like, hey, thanks for hanging out. They introduced themselves, and I shook hands with all of them. I'm trying to think. It's Adam and Jack that are the main two singers. Adam's also the drummer. He's kind of cute. He has very long, curly, naturally curly hair, and it's so amazing. I love. I don't know. I love seeing that. He was kind of a cutie pie. I'm not gonna lie. But anyway. And I wanted to be nice, so I'm like, do you need any help getting your equipment? They're like, no, but we appreciate that. They're like, thanks for hanging out, and they really did appreciate that. Hopefully I didn't make them uncomfortable, and I didn't think I did anyway. So we were there very, very early. They were just setting up the merch booth. I wanted to get there in advance, that way I know where it is, because sometimes I don't know. And I'm gonna one by one show all the stuff that I got. My brain is, I'm kind of tired. I had to take care of some stuff today, so I'm a little tired. Horseburner was the very first band that played. Before the show, before they started, I looked at the merch booth just to see what they had. Because and I did see there was this long sleeve that I really, really wanted, and I'm glad they had it, so I'm like, I'm getting that. And thankfully they had it in my size. Well, Horseburner played, and it was probably for about 30, maybe 45 minutes. They played a bunch of good songs that I recognize, and they're very good. They're from West Virginia. And if you don't know them, I highly, highly recommend them. They are so underrated, and they're such nice guys. They need more appreciation. They've been around for a very long time. I recognized their members. I've memorized their faces. Jack Thomas kind of looks like Skrillex, so he was easy to recognize. Not that I listen to Skrillex, but everybody knows what he looks like probably. So it was easy for me to recognize them. And they put on a good show. They had a good crowd. I got up and headbanged a little bit. And They didn't play that long, but they were very, very good. So after they were done, I asked for pictures, and I got them. And I did look at the merch booth, and Jack was at the merch booth, and I'm like, I wish you had the album Dirt City on this merch booth. He's like, Dirt City, we hadn't thought about that album in a while. Oh my goodness, you really are a fan. Yeah, he was just so surprised to know that I knew them very, very well. But yeah, they put on a good show, and knowing that they're so nice made me really, really happy. Um, my dad did come to watch the show, and Dad and my older brother Nick did actually enjoy the show, and I was surprised to know that. They're not really metalheads, but they let me play my music, and I'm like, what do you think? So I thought they liked it. They liked the music, like the guitars and stuff. They really liked it. I made sure to give them earplugs because that's like the number one thing you should bring to concerts is earplugs. Somnuri was next. They're from New York, and they're doom metal. They do have a little bit of a sludge metal sound, but they also are doom metal. The ground was vibrating. Yeah, you'll know it's doom metal because of that. And the couch was shaking, and the couch was vibrating. Like when the ground vibrates, you know it's doom metal. Imagine how a sleep concert is. I wouldn't know. I've never been to a sleep concert, but anyway. They put on a good performance, and they had a decent crowd, and there were a decent amount of people. There wasn't a line or a big crowd, but it was decent. And I had banged, and I did recognize some of their songs. I wasn't too familiar with them before I went to the concert. I have heard of songs here and there, and I did recognize some of their songs that I heard. I just couldn't think of the names at the top of my head, but they're really good. And I did get to meet their singer, Justin. I forgot his last name, but he was at the merch booth because I wanted a sticker, but he gave it to me for free. That's the one that he's holding in the picture, if y'all saw. I don't know where I'm going to place this, but I'll put it somewhere nice. But yeah, Somnuri probably played for about 30-45 minutes too. The concert wasn't that long, but it still was really, really good. Somnuri was really, really good. So yeah, I've started to get less awkward talking to band members, because years ago I was awkward. I was like, can I get a picture with you? And all shy and all awkward. But nowadays it's a little bit more comfortable for me to do that, because I acknowledge that they're not just musicians, they're people too, and that's the key to not being so nervous. So yeah, Justin was at the merch booth. The merch booth was like against the wall. It wasn't like you line up and you get it. It was kind of placed funny, but you could see everything, and it was really cool. They had patches, CDs, stickers, shirts, obviously. Just whatever. Like whatever you would normally see at a metal show, they had it. And they had a fair amount of stuff. Yeah, Somnuri singer Justin, I talked to him. I was like, hey, I'm going to buy a sticker. And I'm like, can I get a picture of you? He's like, absolutely. And they were all so cool. Every one of the band members I met were all so cool about getting pictures. And they were all so nice. It makes me so happy. So I wanted to spark up conversation, because I was curious, because Somnuri's from New York. I'm like, what's New York like? He said, it's beautiful. You should come. It's really good. And that whole thing about people from New York being mean, yes, they have their moments, but people from New York, like, they'll help you whenever you need it. That's basically what he was saying. He asked me my name, and I told him, and he was like, hi, I'm Justin. We shook hands. Yeah, I shook hands with all of them, and all the members that I met, and yeah, it was nice to talk to him. And I told him, I wasn't really familiar with y'all until, I came to see y'all. He's like, yeah, that's usually how it goes. But I'm like, but y'all put on a great performance, and hopefully I'll see y'all again. And we shook hands, and said goodbye, and he's like, stay cool. And I thought that was really nice. And he addressed me by my name, Amelia, so that made me feel really good. And I thought it was really sweet that he asked me my name, because typically that doesn't really normally happen. I have trouble introducing myself to people, so it was kind of relieving that he asked me my name. I did introduce I tried to introduce myself to Horseburner, and they actually remembered my name, and I'll get back to them because I did see them again later in the show, and this is like the best. I'm saving the best part for last. But yeah, I'll put the sticker somewhere nice. I don't know where, but I'll figure it out. And he's like, I had been following Somnuri on Instagram, but he gave me this business card. It's got the email to and the website for Somnuri. He's like, definitely look more into us. We appreciate you coming out. When I bought the long sleeve shirt, the members of Black Tusk were actually at the merch booth, and I immediately recognized them. I even told them that, and I said, your new album was really, really good. They're like, oh, thank you. They gave me these stickers for free when I bought the shirt. I also bought a patch for Black Tusk. I bought, this isn't for me, this is for Derek, because he, he couldn't come, obviously, because he's in New Mexico, and this lineup actually did go to El Paso, but sadly Derek couldn't go. He had to work, and he didn't know about it until like 3 days in advance, and you know how work is and taking time off, but he's starting to rebuild a new battle vest, so I bought him a patch. I don't know why the abbreviations for Black Tusk are this, TCBT, but, I mean, BT is Black Tusk, but I'll probably figure it out eventually. Yeah, I bought Derek a patch. And, yeah, I'm not very good with names, so I don't remember the names of the members I talked to, but for Black Tusk that were at the merch booth, they were really cool and they were really funny. Like, this show was like mainly talking to the members and not just the music, and it made me feel good about that. So Black Tusk was the main event. They probably played for about an hour, and oh my god, they had a good crowd and they had a good sound. They played songs from their newest album and some of their old stuff too. Highly recommend all these bands. Definitely do listen to Black Tusk. They are so good. Like, they're so fun to listen to, and they're fast, and you will easily have fun listening to them. They're from Savannah, Georgia, and I did talk to their singer again, at the merch booth, and I'll get to that in a little bit. They were so fun to watch. There was a little tiny bit of a mosh pit. I did freak out. Normally, that's a natural reaction, because when I went to go see Death Angel the first time, the mosh pit was so bad, and I was too close to it, and I almost got pulled into it. So I don't mosh because I don't know. I just don't. I never cared to do it. Maybe I did when I was younger, but as I got older, I'm like, nah, I don't want to do it. I just want to stand and enjoy the music. But yeah, do check out Black Tusk's new album. It's called The Way Forward. The album artwork is really beautiful. I should have gotten a CD for them, but I didn't. But the shirt, the stickers, and the patch for Derek, that's enough. Oh, and when I was at the merch booth, I'll get to that in a little bit, and I met the singer. His name's Andrew. He gave me a guitar pick, and I'll get to that in a little bit, but he gave me a guitar pick for free. That was cool. But I had banged, and my neck, I'm feeling it in my neck, but it's so fun. A lady complimented my typo negative patch, and there was somebody around my age, there was a guy around my age, who came up to me and said, hey, I love your battle vest, it looks really, really cool. He's like, I'm trying to start one. He looked to be about my age. Maybe he was younger, maybe he was a teenager, but I don't know. But it was really cool that he admired my work, and he asked questions, how much was it, and where'd you get all those pins and patches, blah blah blah. And yeah, I was gladly willing to answer questions to him, and it seemed like he was kind of not new to the metal subculture, but a little bit more new than me, so. But he was really passionate about the music, and, I love seeing newer metalheads, younger metalheads getting into the scene, and they're so passionate and excited about it, and that makes me really happy. But yeah, so this kid, asking me about my battle vest, and I was gladly willing to talk to him about it. That made me really happy. And you know, it just shows that people love, like, people who love metal are so passionate about it, and we, we're, what's the word? It's something that, you know, brings us all together as a community. All three bands put on an amazing show, and this was like a perfect show too. Like, nothing went wrong, nothing was bad, everything was just so perfect. And they did have free water too, because I get dehydrated during shows, and I always forget about that. But they had free water, and that made me feel good. And I drank a couple cups of water, and I felt good afterwards. Yeah, when I went to the merch booth and I bought the Horseburner CD, because I promised them that I would get merch, and I told them that. Um, and I was like, you know, y'all are so underrated. Y'all are really, really good. And I was like, y'all are so surprised to know that I recognized you and that I know your music. They're like, yeah, we don't really expect that. It shows. And I'm like, well, your album Dirt City is really, really good. It's my favorite. So this is like the best part. So Horseburner, the members Jack and Adam, they were they knew that I was they were surprised to know that I was such a big fan of them. So Jack's like, you know, what's your home address? Because I want to look in my basement and find a copy of Dirt City and mail it to you. I'm like, oh, that's so generous. They're like, no, we really appreciate the fact that you're such a big fan. So I gave them my address, and you know, he promised me that if he did find a CD for Horseburner's Dirt City, he would mail it to me. And I think that is just so sweet that they just were willing to do that for me. And hopefully they do find one, because if they were to send me a CD, it would be very precious to me, knowing because it was from the band themselves. And I said, you know, if you don't find one, you can just write me a letter saying, hey, we tried. But anyway, I hope they do find one and send me a CD, because that would be so cool. So yeah, I bought the CD, and I'm like, hopefully I'll see y'all again, because y'all are so good. So I shook their hands. I'm like, can I have a hug? And they were like, they were so willing to give me a hug, and I thought that was really nice. And I'm like, I like hugs, and I just hugged Jack and Adam, and they really appreciated that. They appreciated the fact that I was such a big fan, and that made me happy, and it made them happy, and I hope that it made their night, and I hope it was a really good memory they made during the tour. And they spelled my name right too. They remembered my name, and that was really sweet. And so yeah, hopefully they find that CD and send it to me. But I did go to the Black Tusk part of the merch booth, and the singer, his name is Andrew, was there. And I said, I've already got my merch, but can I get a picture with you? And he said, sure. At first I tried to take a photo, and my hands were so shaky, it looked blurry. And I'm like, oh God, it looks terrible. He's like, it's okay, I'll hold the camera. And we took a picture. And I told him, you know, I already got the shirt. I have a thing for long sleeve metal shirts. He's like, me too. Yeah, he gave me the guitar pick, and I'll put this somewhere safe. And oh, I forgot to mention, Horseburner also gave me one of their drumsticks they used during the set. They're like, here, you need this. I'm like, oh, that's so generous. So yeah, Horseburner gave me one of their drumsticks. I'll also put this somewhere safe. So yeah, I took a picture with Andrew from Black Tusk, and I'm like, what's Savannah, Georgia like? That's somewhere where I really, really want to go, and I do. There's a couple places I really want to go to, and there's a museum I really want to go to. It's called the Grave Face Museum. It's like a true crime oddity museum. It's really cool, and I really want to go. There's other places in Savannah I really want to go, but that's like one of the main things I want to do if I ever visit. So, so Andrew's like, it's hot, it's dry, just like here. I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, it's part of the southern states. I didn't say that, but that's what I was thinking. And I'm like, have you ever heard of the Grave Face Museum? Have you ever been? He actually did know what I was talking about. He knows about the Grave Face Museum, and he told me that he'll take his son there pretty often, and they'll go together. And I thought that was really sweet that he knew. But yeah, that happened, and I shook hands, said goodbye to him, and I said, hopefully I'll see y'all again. Your new album was really, really great. He's like, yeah, stay cool. And me and my brother Nick went home, and I was surprised to know Nick actually enjoyed the concert. I was worried he wasn't going to, but he loved it, and he headbanged and had fun too, and that made me really, really happy knowing that I kind of planted the seeds of metal into my older brother. So yeah, he and I drove home, and it was only 11 o'clock, and it didn't take that long to go home, and it was very easy getting out of Jackson. And we got home, and I rested up, and I was pretty happy, and I'm still happy about that show. Yeah, I hugged two of the members of a sludge metal band I really liked, and they really appreciated it too. And I got so many goodies, and the shirt and all. I'm gonna mail this to Derek eventually. Yeah, I had so much fun, and I'll never forget this. This was just way too fun to forget. And I was very happy. This is the first time I've been very happy in such a long time. Ever since, everything I had been going through previously. It was so hard for me to be happy then, and now I'm just genuinely happy. I'm happy to be metalhead, happy to go to metal shows. I'm starting to feel like myself again, and that makes me really happy. But anyway, do check out, I'll leave links in the description of the bands too, but do check out Black Tusk, Somnuri, Horseburner. All three of them are so good. Please listen to them, they're so good. And I let me know what y'all think, because they're so good, so underrated. Horseburner especially is underrated too. They have a cover of the Soundgarden song Spoon Man, and I stand by my judgment. That is the best cover of that song, and that's really cool that they covered that. Yeah, hopefully they mail me a copy of Dirt City. Like, I would really appreciate that, and they really appreciate that I Horseburner appreciated. So it makes me happy knowing they appreciated how much I love them. So yeah. But anyway, I think that's it. Hope y'all enjoyed this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, whatever. I'll see y'all later, and stay metal.